Hey everybody, welcome back to Baseline Farms. My name is Jade. So many things have been happening. I had a birthday, another year, and we had our 30th high school reunion. I can't even believe it's been 30 years since we graduated from school. The weather is now cooling down. It's now in the nice 80s. It feels like fall. I've been baking bread. I finished making my skirt. This is a skirt that I made. I bought the material with the embroidery on it, and I put some pockets in this skirt because I love pockets in skirts. So this one has a picture of the world map, and then on the other side, and I just learned how to put pockets in skirts. This one has little tickets, little traveling tickets. How cute is that? So it has been about 3 weeks since I have done a garden vlog. It's been a while because I have been so busy working. And you know, when you're out working in the field, we leave early in the morning and it's super nice and cool out when we're working. But by the time I get home, it is so stinking hot. So the last few days, the last couple days, just past 2 days have been so nice and cool. It's been in the 80s, feels like fall. I love it. So let's see what's been happening. Stephanie's been working out fantastic. She is such a hard worker, and I'm really enjoying having another female in our crew, which is awesome. But let me just share with you what is happening in the garden. So many things are growing, and then, oh my gosh, you guys, there's a parakeet. A little parakeet inside the garden, inside the chicken coop. I don't know where it came from, but it is so pretty. It's like, I'm gonna see if I could pop a picture up of this little parakeet. It's so cute. I have no idea where it came from, but it's so bright. I'm surprised a hawk did not catch it. That's so weird. I'm hoping that it's still there by the time we get to the chicken coop. But so stinking cute. Okay, and a parakeet. Where would a parakeet? Obviously someone lost a parakeet somewhere, and I don't know. I wonder if it's nice. I hope it doesn't fly away. Okay, so let me just share with you what is happening in the garden. Now, this garden bed I have not amended. It has so many weeds, and it looks like I'm growing grass, and I'm not. It's just so much crabgrass. Let me show you. So this little garden bed, this is where I had some onion seeds planted, some red onion seeds, but then something ate them. We think maybe a rodent might have eaten the little seeds. And then we have these little guys right here. And I don't know if this is just, if these are still like bunching onions, or if these are seeds, or I have no idea. I just kind of left them in the garden, but I'm probably going to pop them out because I do want to do a fresh start on this garden bed. We do have some strawberries in here that are still giving us a few strawberries, just small little ones. And I have strawberries in every corner, so I just can't wait to get more strawberries and more blackberries. I have not received any blackberries, but I'll show you that blackberry plant when we get to them. But let me just show you how the tomatoes are doing and the peppers. We have been getting so many tomatoes still, and all the botanical interest seeds that I started, the tomato seeds that I started, are all growing. So I cannot wait to show you how those look. But let me show you how this garden bed's doing behind me. Okay, so over here in this garden bed, we have a green bell pepper. We have a couple of purple bell pepper. We have some shishito peppers, and some cayenne peppers. And so far everything is doing really good. Now, I feel for next year, I don't plan on putting in that many shishito peppers. I planted so many shishito peppers, and I'm like the only one that's been eating them. I put them in the spaghetti sauce. I've been roasting them and eating them that way with a little bit of sauce. But yeah, I'm the only one that's eating these shishito peppers. So I think maybe next year, one plant should be sufficient enough for us. So this is how they're doing. Everything is doing really good, which I thought this was, yeah, this is a bell pepper. We have some bell peppers growing. Look at that. All the bell peppers are really coming in. And let's see, yesterday I harvested a ton of all of those bell peppers, peppers, cherry tomatoes, zucchini, cucumber. Oh my gosh, we had such a huge harvest yesterday. It was awesome. So I came out early yesterday morning and did a full harvest in the garden. So we might still have a few things that I could definitely harvest today. But let me show you how these purple bell pepper are doing. Look at those purple bell pepper. Aren't they so beautiful? Look at that color. It's amazing. And then right here we have our shishito pepper. Oh, no, not shishitos. These are the cayenne peppers. So delicious. And then here's some more of the cayenne peppers. And then here is some more purple bell pepper. And these are going to turn purple. So how awesome is that? That is just doing fantastic. Now over here on the other side, we have our Roma tomatoes. These are our Roma tomatoes by Johnny Selected Seeds. And these are the heirloom variety, I believe, San Marzanos. Yeah, so these are doing really good. And look how crazy. I haven't trimmed them. I mean, ever since they outgrew the trellis, I kind of just let them go wild. And so some of these tomatoes look kind of small. They're like little cherry tomatoes, but I still been harvesting them and they're still super delicious. And yeah, it's doing fantastic. Look at that. This is such a great variety to have. Johnny Selected Seeds, San Marzano heirloom tomatoes. All right, so over here in this bed, I just finally finished amending it. And so what my goal is for this bed is I definitely want to fix the drip because the drip is kind of a little wonky, and make it a little longer to make sure that it covers all the corners, and then add a few more rows because my goal is to put garlic in this garden bed and just have a bunch of garlic. I did start some more garlic in another garden bed, so I'll show you that. But yeah, my goal is to start a bunch of garlic in this garden bed so that way we could have a ton of garlic for the whole season. Now let me show you how this tomato bush is doing. Okay, so over here we have our bronze torch. And oh my goodness, you guys, look at how wild this is. I feel like I just need taller trellises. Like these trellises are just not tall enough for these plants. But there's so many San Marzano, what are these? Oh, I just said the name of it. Bronze torch. These bronze torch, do you see how many are in there? There's a ton, and look at that. There's a ton. Wow, there's a red one right back here. Look at that. They're still growing so profusely. And then right here in this corner, I have a Roma tomato, and you can't even tell. It's so wild. But this bronze torch is doing amazing. Just amazing. It's so tall and so big. I love it. And the fruit is just delicious. You know, it's so sweet. The skin is nice and thin. I love it. So yeah, this is how, and these are by Johnny Selected Seeds as well. Look how good it's doing. It's doing so fantastic. All right, so yesterday I harvested a bunch of beans, and look, there is a ton of beans left in here. Let me show you. I don't know if you could see that hanging in here. Look at all those beans. A ton of them. So this bean plant, this is by Burpees, and it was just a big package, and it said garden beans. I think that's what the package said. It was huge. And so they are doing so good. Look, let me show you how well this is trellising. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? That is so awesome. There's so many green beans everywhere on this plant, and they are so delicious. They're super crisp. You can just eat them right off the plant. So sweet. The skin, yeah, it's nice and tender. It has a really good flavor. What I ended up doing was I ended up making a bunch of minestrone soup, and I canned a bunch of minestrone soup, which was super nice because I was able to use up the turnips that I grew over last fall. And we put some zucchini, pretty much everything that we have in the garden. I just made a whole bunch of it, and yeah, it was awesome. So That is so nice to have, make, especially if you have so an abundance of, oh my gosh, this kitty, his claws are so sharp. He's just like so needy right now. But yeah, so if you are having an abundance of vegetables in your garden, you should try making some minestrone soup, because that would definitely, that definitely alleviated a lot of the vegetables that I grew or that I harvested, because after a while you have no room in the refrigerator. Like, I have no more room for eggplant, I have no more room for zucchini or cucumber, and yeah, tomatoes, oh my goodness, it's just crazy, but I love it. So this is how the beans are doing in the bronze torch. Amazing. So let me share with you how the botanical interest seedlings that I started, the tomato seedlings, I think these were called the Supremo something Roma tomatoes. All right, let me show you how they look. All right, so right over here we have our Supremo botanical interest Roma tomatoes, and they are doing so good. We have some little Roma tomatoes already popping in, and I think what I need to do is stake this up. Now, these are a determinate variety, and this one says it's supposed to be a bush. So I'm not even too sure, because this is my first time ever doing this. I've never succession sowed tomatoes before, and right now we are in September. Let's see, what date is it? I want to say the 17th. Oh my God, way off. The 20th. So September 20th. And yeah, this is how it's doing. So I'm really hoping that we get a few more tomatoes. Yeah, just to see if we can get some nice fresh tomatoes for the fall. So that's how these are doing. And then in the very back, I have a bunch of strawberries growing, because my goal is to have this bed be more of a strawberry little patch, so I could harvest a bunch of strawberries from it and make some strawberry jam. So this is how this bed's doing, doing so well. I'm probably gonna pop in the bare spots, maybe some spinach or some carrots or something like that while the strawberries are growing in. All right, so that's how this bed's doing. Now let me share how these Jerusalem artichokes are growing. All right, so here are the Jerusalem artichokes. They're so tall. My goodness, these are definitely taller than last year's, and they're already starting to bloom. So once the flowers die off and the stalks die off, then that is when it's time to harvest these Jerusalem artichokes. And my research, all the research that I've been doing, says that you can just leave the Jerusalem artichokes in the garden bed and harvest them when you're ready to use them, which I think my cousins are going to pickle them, so I'm probably going to harvest them all at the same time, and then my cousins are going to come over and pick them up. So that is how the Jerusalem artichokes are growing. Now I really hope that I get them all out of the garden bed, but look at that. Isn't that so crazy? So crazy tall. All right, so over there we have our lemongrass, and the lemongrass is doing fantastic. Let me show you how the lemongrass is doing. Look at that. Look how huge it is. It is so huge. I love it. It is such a great plant to have in the garden. Did so well over the summer, did super good over the winter, and it just looks so beautiful and so full. And I cut it back. I mean, I chopped it down because I didn't know what I was doing. I cut it all the way back, and I wasn't sure if it was going to grow back. And look at that. It's just beautiful. My goodness. It's like a jungle in here. All right, so over here we have our blackberry bush, and our blackberry bush is not doing too bad. I just fertilized it yesterday, and I cut out, they had some dead stalks in there, so I did cut those out. And yeah, I'm hoping that I get some raspberries or blackberries one of these days. And I'm not too sure, you know, this is my first year, no, not first year, but gosh, I don't even know how many years I've had this raspberry plant, maybe 2 years. Maybe, I gotta look back, but yeah, I don't know. I haven't really gotten that many blackberries. I've probably gotten a handful since I've had this blackberry every season. I've just gotten a handful of blackberries, and I wish I'd get more so that way I can make some jam, but it's just not enough. So I cannot wait. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, or if that's just maybe I've just had to wait longer for it to get established. I have no idea. But this is how this blackberry plant is doing. Is just, you know, still growing. So that's good. I'm happy about that. But now, let me show you how the basil and these other tomatoes are doing. Man, these birds are busy this morning. They're so noisy. All right, so over here we have our 3 basil plants, and my goodness, I have been so happy with all of the basil that I have in the garden. Last year I made pesto, but I did not make enough of it. And so this year I have so much pesto in the refrigerator that I am so excited. And not only that, we've been using pesto for like grilled cheese sandwiches and just everything. Pasta, salad, you can use it for everything. So I am so happy, and I know I could probably harvest some more from another basil plant, and I'll show you. I have so many. And then over here in the back we have some more, and I believe these are like I forgot what tomato. I know these are by Botanical Interest, but I forgot what type they are. Oh, right here. Tomato bush, Glacier. They're called tomato bush, and I guess I didn't do a good job writing the name down. It says Glacier. I wonder what it's gonna look like. But I don't think they're getting a lot of sun because I have these Suyo cucumbers on this side that are blocking the sun from these tomatoes. So I'm not too sure how big they're gonna get, but this is how they look because the other tomatoes are doing so well and they're huge. But these guys are kind of little tiny, but there are some blossoms, and I'm not even too sure if it's going to give us any type of tomatoes, but so far this is how they look. Now let me show you how these Roma tomatoes on the other side of this trellis are doing. Okay, so on this side we have our Lake Valley, I think these are by Lake Valley Seed Company, and these are the Roma tomatoes, and they're doing really good. Now I haven't really been paying that much attention to them like I did when I first started all the tomatoes. These tomatoes I started 2 weeks after the first set of tomatoes that I did. So I don't know why. I haven't really been, you know, cutting off any of the suckers or anything like that. And yeah, there's no reason why. I just haven't done it. I don't even know. Yeah. I should be taking care of them because I bet you if I did, I would probably be getting a ton of tomatoes. Like there's a huge sucker right here. Look at that. It's a huge sucker. So yeah, I should be taking care of them. I really have no idea why. Probably because I'm so busy with so many other things and so many other projects. But this is how the Roma tomatoes are doing by Lake Valley Seed Company. Still doing fantastic. I haven't really been harvesting that many tomatoes. I probably harvested maybe 10 total from this side. And I'm not even too sure why, and I'm not too sure if it's just, you know, if it's just a late, 2 weeks behind. Like, you would think I would get some tomatoes by now, like a good amount, but this is how it's doing. I'm not complaining. There's still a ton of fruit on here, so I'm just gonna wait for it to turn red and ripen up, and then, yeah, and probably just harvest it then, obviously. But that is how the Lake Valley Seed Company is doing the Roma tomatoes, doing fantastic. So let me share with you how the Suyo cucumbers are doing. Amazing. Okay, so over here we have our Suyo cucumbers. Look at that. Is that just the coolest cucumber ever? Now, the skin is kind of prickly, and but oh my goodness, it's so delicious. And so I've harvested quite a few of these Suyo cucumbers, and they are so good. Like right now I can see 3 of them. Look, there's one right here, and then I think there's one in the back there. Oh, 2 of them. So I have 5 of them. Oh my gosh, so many. So that is how the Suyo cucumbers are doing. Now, I did have a little, do you see that? Do you see the leaf, how it looks a little spotty? So at first I had no idea what was wrong with it, and I had this app on my phone, and so I took a picture of it, and it said it had thrips, which is a little insect that sucks the life out of your plant, out of the leaf of your plants. So what I ended up doing was I ended up spraying it with some neem oil and Dawn soap. And so far, I only did it one time, and so far so good, because let me tell you, it was looking really rough. But I think I'm gonna have to do it again one more time. I could see some of the new leaves popping up, but I think I'm gonna have to do it one more time because, yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure. The weather is starting to get cooler, and I know it's probably gonna be time to take those out. So I don't know, maybe I'll just let it run its course and see what happens. But let me share with you how this garden bed is doing. Okay, so over here in this garden bed, this is where we had those sunflowers. And since then, the sunflowers are so beautiful, but they have since died out, so I've cut them all back. And now I have a garden bed to plant some things in. So right now, all I have are some basil. I have two little spots of basil and 3 blue lake beans. And the blue lake beans have been doing pretty good, but I think I like the Burpee's, garden beans? I think I like those ones better because I have gotten so many garden beans and just a little handful of these blue lake beans. So I think next year I'm just going to stick with the garden beans and plant something else in the other beds instead of these blue lake beans. But this is how this garden bed's doing, and so far so good. Alright, so over here, look at the raspberry. The raspberry bush is doing so good. Now I could see something is eating on the leaves. I just noticed this right now. Something is eating on the leaf. Do you see that? All those little holes. I wonder if it's a snail. Come on, kitty. Get down. So yeah, I just noticed that right now. But I have cut out all the dead stuff that was growing in there, and it's all coming back. So that's how the raspberry bush is doing. I hope I get some blackberries, raspberries, and strawberries next year because, man, I've been wanting those so bad, and along with the Myers lemon. Got no Myers lemon either. All right, so this is how this bush is doing, and I'm hoping that I'll get some raspberries one of these days. All right, so let me move on to the next garden bed. Okay, so over here we have our cherry falls, and I did grow these last year that did really well. I remember they got a little diseased, but they did produce a ton of little cherry tomatoes, and they were fantastic. So that is how these cherry falls are doing. They're doing so well. So now let me share with you how the sun golds are doing. Okay, so here are the sun golds. Oh my gosh, they are doing it so good, and they're so sweet. I harvested so many of these sun golds, and these, you know what we use them for? I just eat them fresh, but you know what they would taste good in? Like pasta salad. That would taste so good. So that is how the cherry tomatoes are doing, these sun golds. I noticed that some of them are dying out, but they're still producing a ton of little cherry tomatoes. Look at that. Do you see all those cherry tomatoes on there? All of my tomato plants are producing so many cherry tomatoes. And then right here, I have some basil that is doing so well. So that is how all of these sun golds are doing. Now let me share with you how the garlic is doing that we just planted. All right, but first, here are some more of those cherry falls doing so good. Look at that. Oh, some baby little cherry tomatoes right there. Oh my goodness, it's doing so good. And at the very end, we have our artichoke. And then over here, this is where I started a bunch of the garlic. And we already have 3. I think I have 4. One back over there, way in the back. So we have 4 garlic popping up so far. And I'm hoping, because I believe I planted about 60 cloves in this garden bed, which is going to be so crazy. So I'm hoping that we get a ton of garlic from this garden bed, and along with all the other ones that I plant garlic in. All right, so over here we have our eggplant, and oh my goodness, this eggplant is just massive. There's only one eggplant in here in this garden bed, and I have been pulling out eggplant non-stop. There's so many. Right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total. And I'm sure there's more. If I keep searching, I'm sure there's more in there. But there's so many eggplant in here, and I need to figure out a way to cook it. So I have no idea how to cook eggplant. I do have a bunch of recipe books that I'm going to pull out some recipes from, and one of them is a Mediterranean recipe book. So I am going to, and it has a bunch of recipes for eggplant. So I'm going to go ahead and utilize that and see what I could use these eggplants for. So yeah, I'll show you how they turn out if I do a good job. But this is how the eggplant is doing. Phenomenal. Now let me show you how the zucchini. Now the zucchini has been growing amazing. So many zucchini. So let me show you how they're doing. All right, so here is the zucchini plant. Oh my goodness, it is doing so fantastic. It has produced so many zucchini, and I am just loving it. So on this side I have the zucchini, and on the other side I have the eggplant. And let me just share with you how big this zucchini plant is. It's so huge. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? It is so big. Now there are quite a few zucchini plants in this garden bed. I think there's about 4 of them. And so they're growing so massive and doing so well. Look at that. Amazing. Now, over here we have our Cherokee Purples, and now let me give you a good look at how these Cherokee Purples are doing. Okay, so on this side we have a bunch of, this is a tiny little Cherokee Purple. We have a ton of Cherokee Purples, and they're still producing quite a few. Now, I noticed that the pink, oopsie, oh man, knocked one off. Now I noticed that the pink Berkeleys on the other side are doing better than these Cherokee Purples, but I am so happy and pleased at how these Cherokee Purples have turned out. I do like the pink Berkeleys better though. Now these have grown so massive, and I wish my trellising was a little bit taller so that way, you know, I could just keep trellising them up as far as they can go. But let me share with you how the pink Berkeleys are doing. All right, so on this side is like a jungle. There are so many pink Berkeleys. Like there's one right here kind of blushing, and there's one right over here. My goodness, there's 2 of them. So, oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at that. Now this one's blushing a little bit, and it's a little green on the top, and then this one's pretty much ready to go. But yeah, they are doing so well. There's so many pink Berkeleys in here, and they're just amazing, fantastic. I love it. The taste is so amazing. The inside is so bright red, and I'm just loving it. Yeah, these are by far one of my favorite beefsteak tomatoes right now, and I think that's what they are, beefsteak tomatoes. So I am totally enjoying these, and I use them pretty much, we eat them in sandwiches. I put them in the spaghetti sauce. What else have I made them? I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, they're doing fantastic. Everything's doing so well in the garden bed, and they're just, look at this huge ass sucker right here. Huge. I haven't trimmed ever since they kind of outgrew the trellis. I just did not trim off any suckers. I don't know why. I should just be taking care of them and coming out here and trellising them and trimming them up. I mean, I do trim them, but just not as much as I should. So that is how they're doing. Fantastic. Now let me share with you how the peppers are doing. Okay, so over here we have our peppers. So many peppers. I grew so many peppers. Now last year I grew a ton of peppers too. I grew a bunch of, I think I grew sashimi peppers and a ton of sashimi peppers and a ton of bell peppers. So this year I decided to dabble in some hot peppers. And there are so many hot peppers back here. Matter of fact, I wonder if this one is a hot pepper. I don't know. I don't know if it's a shishito pepper or if it's hot pepper. Oh, it's a hot pepper. It's a hot one. Oh, it's a hot one. It's a hot one. That's a hot one. Okay, I gotta remember that one. I don't think that one had peppers the last time my nephew was out here. So now I know there's a hot pepper back here. I thought that was a shishito one. Okay, so we have a hot pepper back there that's delicious. The flavor is actually pretty good. It is still spicy, but it's a good flavor. So right now we have this bell pepper right here. It's doing fantastic. Oh, that one's so hot. So we have a couple bell pepper right there, And then, let's see, we have a bunch of hot peppers. We have some Hungarian hot peppers, some Pablo peppers. So let me share with you all the peppers. I'm just gonna run the camera through here so you can see all the different peppers that we have. Okay, so this first one is the bell pepper. And back there, look at all those red hot peppers. That's the one I just took a bite of. I took a huge bite. I don't know why I did that. My mouth is still burning. There's another bell pepper. Right in here we have our Pablo peppers. Look at that, so beautiful. Here are our shishito peppers. And then I believe right here some more of those Pablo peppers. Or no, barons. These are the barons. Look at that, they're so beautiful. And these are actually a really good flavor right here. And then I have some more shishito peppers and some Hungarian hot peppers in the back that I did harvest all of the Hungarian hot peppers. So these are how all the peppers are doing. Oh my goodness, there is a big bell pepper right there. Look at that, huge. So that is how all the peppers are doing. And then over here we have our 5-star cherry tomatoes that are wild. Look at all these suckers. Oh my goodness. Let me show you. Look at these. These are some of the 5-star cherry tomatoes. Look at those clusters of tomatoes still. Look at that. Amazing, you guys. Look at that. How are you supposed to take those out and start getting ready for fall when there's just so many fruits still growing on that? Look at that. So beautiful. All right, so over here in this garden bed, this is where I started more garlic. So this is where we had some potatoes growing. I had some yellow potatoes. I think they're golden potatoes. I think that's what they're called. Purple potatoes, red potatoes, and I harvested so many potatoes from this garden bed. I cannot wait. I'll show you, see if I have a picture of it. I'll post it up here so you can see what they look like. So yeah, so that was all the potatoes that I harvested from this garden bed, which was, I didn't plant that many, and we had, obviously, we have a ton. So I'm so excited. I can't wait till next year. I'm gonna plant a bunch of potatoes because it was so easy. Yeah, it was no fuss. Just popped them in there and watered them and let them go. So next year I'm going to definitely do the same thing. But right now we have garlic growing in this garden bed, so I cannot wait to see all the garlic that pops up. Now, let me see. I think that's pretty much it for the big garden. Let me take a look. Oh, almost forgot our Myers lemon. Yeah, no lemons yet. But the lemon tree is doing really, really good. So I hope that soon we get some Myers lemon. Let me show you. Here's our Myers lemon. There it is. Looking so beautiful. But no lemons. But it's not dead. So that's a plus. Yeah, I'm not even too sure. I hope one of these days we get some lemons from this lemon tree so that way we can make some sort of lemonade. That would be so awesome. One of these days. I cannot wait. I hope it's not an ornamental lemon tree. If that's an ornamental lemon tree and I've been babying it the way I've been babying it, man, I'm going to be so upset with myself. But yeah, so this is how the big garden's doing. I did not get the gingerbread house yet. I cannot wait. I think we're going to put that gingerbread house right there at the very end of the garden. So John has been so busy working at the parks, but we do have all of our tractors home. So now is like a really good time to go pick up that gingerbread house. And I cannot wait. So I could store all of my stuff in there. Let me see if that parakeet's still in the garden. No, it looks like it ran away. I don't know where it went, but my goodness. So here are the baby chickens. Now all the chickens are doing so well. I do need to clean up this chicken stall. What I do is I just pile, because you know Bella's been living in here right now while the lambs are in her stall, which is almost time for harvesting. Oh, that's gonna be a tough one for us. But all of the chickens are doing really well. So Bella's been in here, and what I do is I just take all the poop, I pile it all up into a little pile, and then the chickens kind of scratch it down and eat all the bugs. But the ducks have been living in here with the chickens, and so far so good. Everyone's doing really, really good. But yeah, soon it's going to be time to harvest those lambs. And John's been calling around to find out like where to process. Like, so normally we have a processor that comes out to our farm and he takes care of the lambs for us and skins them and does all that stuff. And then he takes them to the butcher. Well, I guess there's been a lot of homesteaders out, and normally we just call up our processor and he'll just come out. We don't have to wait months, but now we have to call him in advance, months in advance, which we had no idea. So now we're at a point where it's time to harvest the lambs and before they become sheep, and we have no processor. So John and our son Evan have decided that they are going to process the meat. Yeah. And yes, John knows how to do it. He just chooses not to, because John was in a motorcycle accident about in 2005. He was in a horrible motorcycle accident, and so his arms are not like 100%, so he cannot use he has metal from like here to here on both of his arms, and he was hit head on by a Yukon, so amazing that he could even walk around and talk. But with that being said, he needs the strength, so that's where our son comes into play. So our son's going to help him process the lambs, which is going to be kind of crazy. We've only done it one other time here where John was did it. I don't like watching it, so John's going to be doing it solo, him and his son. So yeah, that's coming soon. I want to say probably by the end of this week, which is a really, I don't even know how he can do it. But he is Farmer John. So this is how the chickens are doing, and I got my first chocolate brown egg, or dark brown egg, which is so pretty, had little specks in it. I only had one so far, and I'm hoping that I get way more. So the chickens are doing fantastic. The ducks are doing so good now that they're no longer being herded back to the chicken coop. They kind of got the gist of it. They know that this is their home, but now they don't go to the pond. So, oh, here's John. So yeah, so they just stay in the chicken coop the whole time and hang out with the chickens, and the chickens don't seem to mind. Hey, sweetie. All right, so I've been telling all of our friends here that you're going to be harvesting the lambs. So when is that day going to happen? Saturday. I just can't believe it. I can't believe he's going to be doing it. Okay, so how many lambs have you harvested in your life?
I mean, I've done them with my dad and my uncles many times.
Many times, so yeah.
Once a year for many years. Well, we used to do 1 or 2 a year, not 3.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. So, I mean, what's the process? Because I don't watch it. I don't watch
the process.
Well, I mean, don't go like gruesome, but just say.
It's all gruesome.
Yeah, it is gruesome. But they're calm, right? They're not going to see each other passing away, just one by one.
One by one. Can I tell you how I do it?
Yeah, yeah.
First, you take the lamb to where you're going to do the deed at, where we can pick it.
Okay, never mind. You don't want to know the process. John was going on and on about the process, and it was a little bit more than what I was expecting him to say. So we're just not going to talk about how he's going to process the lambs. It's just going to be a done deal. So that's pretty much it. Because he was just going on and on. I was like, ooh, that's not, I don't want to post that. All right. So over here we have our pumpkins. And our pumpkins are they're not doing fantastic. I'll tell you what. I thought by now I was going to have a bunch of pumpkins. Like I was going to, flank my little staircase or in the front of my doorway full of pumpkins. But right now it looks like I have one little sweet meat right here. This New England, not sweet meat, is a New England pumpkin right here. I have a white, ooh, big praying mantis. Wow, look at that praying mantis. Do you guys see that? Whoa, he's huge. Look at that beauty. Wow, he just jumped out from nowhere. So, that is a huge praying mantis. That's awesome. I love seeing those type of bugs, and that's why I don't want to spray the garden with stuff. It's just because of those beneficial bugs that will help out with the garden. So that's why I try not to spray. That's my last resort. If I have to spray anything, it's my last resort. All right, so over here I have these pumpkins that are doing really well. Now these pumpkins are just right in the earth, and I think that's why they're doing so good. And then we have these Kermit eggplants right in here. It's getting so bright now. So those are doing good. And then we harvested our first cantaloupe right here that we just ate yesterday. So good. And then we have a ton of other melons that we have 0 melons. We have some Crenshaws, we have a Sarah's Choice, we have a Lily's melon, but no melons. Just the one cantaloupe that we ate. And then also I have a bunch of zinnias right here that self-seeded themselves. And then we have some butternut squash right in there, but no butternut squash. And I don't think we're gonna get any butternut squash before, you know, for Thanksgiving or for Christmas. And then I have a bunch of empty beds that, I don't know, I'm probably gonna plant some either flowers or some garlic. Because we are almost out of all of our garlic. Now let me just go ahead and show you these lambs. And show you how they're doing. So good. Man, these are some good lambs. They are so stinking sweet. Hi, Jack. It's getting so big. Hi there. Let's see who's that. Is that Chrissy? I think that's Chrissy. They're doing so good. These are by far my best lambs. Come on, guys. Hi, guys. Look at them. Hi, guys. Hi, Jack. That's Chrissy. Oh no, this is Janet, and that's Chrissy over there. She's all messy. Look at her nasty little face. Look at her disgusting little face. Oh, God, every time they see me, they pee with this excitement, tons of excitement. Hi, bud. This lamb is so smart. The other day, a plane was flying overhead, and he looked up to look at the plane. And I was like, oh my gosh, why'd you do that? Man, it's hard, you know? Having lambs and having sweet lambs it's so hard. So hard, huh, bud? You're so cute. So cute. Yeah, so they are doing so good. I just love them so much. And yeah, and I can't believe John's gonna be the one harvesting them. So that's, you know, I know he could do it. He's done many animals. Yeah, he's done many animals. So he's harvested many animals, even the ones that I did not want him to harvest. We had a goose, and yeah, I knew his days were numbered, but we got him anyways. And I did not think that we were going to eat him for breakfast, and I couldn't eat him. John did, and John said he was delicious. But the kids got this goose one time, and I just, you know, I was new to farming. I had no idea that you need more than one goose in order for them, because they want to flock. So that goose was so messy, didn't know how to fly, didn't know how to swim, would never go into the pond, would just hang out over with the dogs and chase everybody that came onto the property. And he was just a huge nuisance. And then one day I found out on Facebook that John harvests the meat from this goose without letting me know. I found out on Facebook. That's how I found out. We named him Cosmo. And I was so upset and so bummed because he was like my pet. And even though he was very aggressive, he was mine. And so yeah, so I do know that John knows how to harvest meat. But this is what is happening. And then John was able to get me a bunch of cedar. You see that? For the garden. He just got done doing a job, and he had some cedar left over. So I'm so excited. I'm going to put that in the garden, and it just smells so good. It looks so good. See that? It's so beautiful right in there. So yes, that is what's happening on the farm. Everything is just growing. Sorry if this is loud. Ooh. Everything is just growing. The animals are doing fantastic. Yeah, we're all doing really well. The farm's growing and doing fantastic. But look at that. Oh, it smells so good. I cannot wait. Oh my goodness, there's quite a bit. I can't wait. I'm gonna put it all into the side of this garden. Just kind of put it on the ground. And I think that's gonna look so beautiful. All right, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.